So the first thing you want to do is open your web browser. If you're on an Apple product, you can use Safari. If you're on any other computer, desktop, laptop, you can use Google Chrome or Firefox, Mozilla. I don't recommend Internet Explorer because sometimes it's a little slow. The website you're going to go to is zoom.us, ZOOM.us. And the first thing I want to show you, so this is their homepage, but the first thing I want to show you is the plans and prices available for whatever type of platform that you want to use. Now, again, Zoom does all these things. It holds virtual meetings with participants. You can have from 1 to millions or thousands of participants. You can utilize video webinar. You can have a conference room. You can just generate a phone conversation, and then you can have IM if you do the business account. So let's click on plans and pricing so I can show you which ones may be suitable for you depending on how extensive you want to use your class. So the free one, which is the one I started off with, it can host up to 100 participants. So of course we don't have any classes with more than 100 students, so this may be one you want to utilize depending on how in-depth and technologically savvy you need your class to be. You can have unlimited one-on-one meetings. So if you have to tutor a student, or you want to have a conference with a student, or you want to do advising at the end of the semester with a student, you can have unlimited one-on-one meetings. The only thing about the free one is that it's going to limit your group meetings to 40 minutes. So if you're doing a lecture, you're doing a PowerPoint presentation, or you're doing anything with more than the one-to-one meetings, with more than those many people in your meeting, then you are going to be limited to 40 minutes. The good thing is you can have as many meetings as you want all day long, 24/7, and you get online support. These additional things, HD video, HD voice, and all that, some of that is included. So you can sign up for a basic personal meeting Zoom account, which is free. So if you want to do that, you're going to click here and sign in. If you want to use things like recording your video sessions, you may want to sign up for the Pro, which is $14.99 a month. I signed up only because I'm going to just be utilizing this throughout the rest of the semester. So I signed up this month. So I'm going to use it for March, April, and May. So I'm going to invest roughly $45 into Zoom. And if you do standard deduction on your taxes, you can get it back. I know if you reach out to Christina Williams, she listed a name in one of the Zoom webinars she did of someone who had some licenses to hand out. Not sure if she still has them, but she had about 100 licenses she could have handed out, so it would have been free of cost to you. Not sure. But if you want to use this, again, this one for the Pro is $14.99, or you can get the basic, which is free. So $14.99 is the one I purchased, and the reason why I purchased this is strictly for recording my webinars so that I can use them for later feedback and later playback. So I'm going to record my math webinars, and then I'm going to post them to Moodle, so students who are not able to come to virtual class, or who just needs to refresh because they can't remember everything or didn't write down everything during the lecture, they can go back to the link, because it's going to provide you with a link. They can go back to the link and rewatch the lecture without them having to call me and me reteaching. And also, if you teach more than one class and you're not having a daily face-to-face meeting, or classroom time, not daily, but you're not meeting your class live virtually every time you have a class setting, you can record once for one class and then link the videos to your other classes. So those are the two that I am familiar with. If you're a business owner, you may want to upgrade to the $20 a month. Enterprise, you may want to upgrade to that one. But as of our purposes here for just finishing out the semester virtually, sign up for the free one or sign up for the Pro. And I did Pro so that I can have unlimited recordings. So I'm going to go back to the home page. Well, let me show you how to sign up. So we're going to click sign up. You're going to enter your work email address, or you're going to sign in with your Google account or your Facebook account. And I'm going to put a bogus email address. I'm going to use one I don't use, just so I can walk you through the process. So they're going to send you an email. You got to click that link in the email to begin using Zoom, and hopefully I can get into my email. So this one is actually going to take me to my current email, which I need to log. All right, so I'm going to click on the Zoom email, and I'm going to press join account, and it's going to take me back to the Zoom website, and I'm going to put in my information. Which you're going to need 8 characters, 1 letter, 1 number, uppercase and lowercase. Confirm and continue. So I can invite my colleagues to create their own account, but I want to skip this step. So this is my personal URL. So I'm going to go back to the account I've already had set up. I just want to walk you through creating an account. So once you have your account, you can sign in. And if you have anything set up, this is what it'll look like. All right, so So this is what your account looks like. This is my personal meeting ID, personal link. This is the email I use to sign in. I'm licensed. My capacity is 100 people per meeting. And I'm going to show you how to invite your students to a meeting. So I'm going to go up here to schedule a meeting. And I'm going to title this meeting Test. And I want to schedule this meeting for today. Let's see what time it is. It's 5:37. I want to schedule this meeting for today at 6 o'clock. It's going to be an hour. Select Central Standard Time because that's what we're in. If this is your normal class time, you can select recurring meeting, and every time at this particular time on this particular day, you will automatically have a Zoom meeting scheduled. So you won't have to do this process. So for me, I have Math 090 on Tuesday and Thursdays at 11 o'clock. So if I wanted to do that, I would change this to the next Tuesday or the next Thursday. I'll change this to Thursday. Excuse me. Put in 11 o'clock a.m. Class is an hour and 20 minutes. And then make sure it's Central Standard Time. And I'll press recurring meeting. And then I'll schedule one for Tuesday's class. So that every Tuesday and Thursday, my students will get an alert. And I will also get an alert that I have a meeting. I can require my students to register or not. I don't, because some of my students are not technically inclined. So I don't want to add any additional steps. Meeting ID, I want to use my personal ID because I've also put this on my student syllabus. So my personal ID, meeting ID does not change. If you want to limit this just to your students, you can require them to have a meeting password. I don't. That's just extra steps. You want to make sure for video that the host is on and the participant is on so that you can actually identify your students when they sign in. It will show you that you have students. For audio, make sure you have computer and telephone. So you want to click both so that your students can dial in if they have an issue with their camera phones, or they can talk to you through their cell phone. And also if they're on a computer, they can use computer audio. Enable join before host. Click this because we don't want to have this available, because the issue that I had is students were joining the meeting all times of the day. So if class is at 11, I had students in the meeting at 8 o'clock the night before because they're not reading their email. They're just clicking links. So don't allow them to join before you join. If you don't want to hear your students' background when they click on, then you can press mute participants upon entry, and then they will have to physically unmute themselves when they want to talk. Enable waiting room. If your students sign in, so say class starts at 11 and you have a student signing in at 10:59, they can be placed in a waiting room until you join the meeting, and then they'll automatically be transferred over onto the meeting. So that'll be a good one to click, because you may have some students that may want to join early to make sure that their system is working well, and you don't want them to be denied access to the course. So click enable waiting rooms, because if you don't get on at 10:55, you have a student trying to get on at 10:54, it won't allow them to get in. I always click record on my computer or in the cloud. I always press in the cloud, and this is for you may or may not have this option on the free one. I know they were doing some upgrades due to the coronavirus, so they may allow you to record the meeting. And then we're going to click save. So now I have a meeting scheduled, and if you see, this takes me back to my it takes me back to all the demographics that I checked for this particular meeting, and 3 buttons have popped up. I can add this to my Google, my Outlook, or my Yahoo calendar just by clicking on it. So let's say I want to add it to my Outlook calendar that's attached to this computer. It's going to download. I'm going to click on it. If it comes up, here it is. And I want to add a new event, and I'm doing this from home. So I added that event to my home calendar. So let's go back to the web page. I can start this meeting being that it is almost 6 o'clock. So let's go ahead and start this meeting. And this is how it is going to look once you start the meeting. It's going to ask you if you want to join with the computer audio and test your speaker and microphone. I've already done that before. So I'll click. So this is how I will be sitting and waiting for my students to join in. So when they join in, they'll see my face. So I am going to show you some other things that you can do while your students are in your webinar with you. So you see, as I'm moving, it's always my internet connection is unstable. I'm not sure why. But as you see, I move my mouse. I get these buttons at the bottom. So I can mute myself. So now that I am muted, you cannot hear what I am saying. And then I can unmute myself. So let's say I have some background noise or whatever, or I need to, for whatever reason, you need to mute yourself, it's available. If I want to stop the video at any time, I can stop my video, and I think it shows, and it shows my profile picture that I uploaded when I originally did my account. So you can still hear me, and because I'm sharing my screen, y'all can see when I'm moving around, but my students will just see my face up there. But I don't want, so say I'm in my pajamas teaching my class, and I don't want my students to see me, then I can stop the video so that they won't see me. Here you can invite people. So these are people that are in my email account. So if I want to invite somebody right quick, I can go ahead and invite them. And I'll show you how to send a link to your students to invite them as well. Right now I have 1 participant in my course because it's just me on here. And it's going to show me, so this is how you can check your role. Click on manage your participants and you can see who's all on here. If my students have background noise that's too loud, I can go in and mute them. I can rename them. I can edit my profile picture, but I can go in and I can mute students. This is one that I need to show you, but I'm going to show you that one in a little bit. So this is another one. So you may ask, if I'm muting my students, how can I talk to them? You're going to have a chat that's available. So you can send this to a particular person or you can send it to everyone. So let's see. I can participate and chat with no one, host only, everyone publicly, everyone privately. And I think I just clicked one. So public, so I can chat like, what page are we on? That may be something your students ask you. So students say what page you were on, and I can type in page 113 or page 114. So you can chat back and forth with your students here. You can also upload files. So let's say I want to work on a particular worksheet, and I want my students to read a passage so we can discuss it. I can click on there. It's going to bring down my drive. So I can go and find something to share. I'm going to click on something real quick. So now my students can click on this and look at whatever I'm looking at. So say I'm reading from a passage. I'm teaching English and I am discussing, or I'm teaching history and I'm discussing a passage or something, and I want my students to be able to see exactly what I'm looking at. Then I can share it with them, and all they have to do is click to open it, and then they can see it on their screen. So we'll click. I'm going to talk a while because it keeps saying that my internet is slow, but they can click on it and it'll open it onto their screen. Here it is. It's a little slow. All right, so then they can still see me, still see the students that they're in class interacting with, still see the chat, and then have access to whatever documents that I'm trying to share with them. So get out of that. And then I'm going to take you to share screen. So for those of us who are teaching math or who want to do a PowerPoint presentation or a Prezi presentation for their students, and they're wondering, how can I get my students to see this? You don't have to email your presentation to your students and have them open it up on the side so that they can follow along in the PowerPoint with you. All you have to do is have it up on your computer and share your screen. So it's going to ask you, do you want to share your desktop? Do you want to share your whiteboard? If you're on iPad, you can AirPlay it. You want to share your iPhone or iPad via cable. So if you have your information, your device plugged in, you can share just your Safari, your internet task page, or the Zoom launch meeting. So I want to share my desktop, and then I'm going to press share. So now you see what's on my desktop. And up here, I can still access my buttons for Zoom. And to the right, you'll see where they've uploaded my screen. So I can still see what my students see. And also they can see the computer screen. So say I want to share a PowerPoint. I should have had one of these already up for you. So usually if I'm doing this, I will have down in my task at the bottom all the information that I want my students, that I want to be able to share with my students. But I'm just doing this off the fly. So I did not prepare background stuff. And my PowerPoint takes forever to load. So let's say I am doing a PowerPoint presentation for my students. I can just already have it uploaded in the background. Play from start. And I'm clicking through the PowerPoints and I'm lecturing on top of the PowerPoint presentation. And this is me lecturing and clicking. And so my students see everything I want them to see without me having to email them a PowerPoint presentation ahead of time. So I'm going to stop share, which is up here. So we're going to stop share. It's going to bring it back to video. So now you see me again. So for those of us who are teaching math, I advise you that you teach from a tablet or an iPad or a notebook, so that you have the availability to write and your students can see what you're writing. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to go to share screen. I want to go to whiteboard. So this is going to create a whiteboard like you see in your classroom. I'm going to select whiteboard and select share. So now you can still see me up here. You still see those tasks that were at the bottom of your Zoom. And now I have a whiteboard with the items that I need to use to create the whiteboard and create my virtual lecture in real time to my students. So let's say I want to type something. So I'm clicking on text. And I'm going to click on the whiteboard and create a text box. So let's say today we're going to do fractions. So we're discussing fractions, and I'm going to add and subtract improper fractions. So let's say proper fractions. Excuse my typing. I have no glasses on today, people. All right. So that is the title of my lecture today. Now I need to start writing. So I'm going to click on draw. And I want to draw a skinny line. not a fat one. I like skinny ones. And if you have a stylus and using your tablet, you can start to write. And I'm using my computer, so it is not good. But I'm going to write the problems. And so now my students are following me along, and they're looking like I'm writing on the chalkboard. Now, if you take a moment to not look at this screen right quick and look to my right, because I've scheduled my Zoom course and my Zoom meeting to my calendar. Now I have a reminder to let me know that in 10 minutes, I have a Zoom meeting. So I'm just going to close that and go back to the lecture. So here I can walk my students through as if I'm actually in the classroom. So for those of us who teach math, this can be utilized. For those of us who teach English, I'm going to show you how else this can be utilized. So if we have, let's say I want to look at a passage and we want to go and underline or highlight everything in the passage that is important or something, I can cut and paste a text, which I need to go and find one right quick. So I'm just going to open. Let me find something real quick that I can open and just cut and paste. So I'm going to cut this just so I can show you if it allow me to cut and paste. So I just cut and paste just some text from whatever. And so I can say if I want to annotate something or whatever, so I'm going to draw on this. And now it's not letting me draw. So I can highlight what's important. I clicked the wrong button. So if I want to highlight something important to my students, I can tell them that this is a word that always has to be capitalized because it is a proper noun word. I know I'm not good at English, proper noun word or whatever. So say this is a paragraph and I want to go through the paragraph and say this does not need to be all capitalized, and we can substitute this with the and sign, and this does not all, I can lecture and annotate text that I post to the whiteboard for those who are teaching English. So I'm trying, okay, so now I need to show you how to invite your students to your Zoom. So y'all can still see me and still see my screen. So let's get out of the classroom. So I want to end my meeting. So all you do here is press end meeting, and I want to end it for all. So I want my students to stay in my Zoom after I'm done with this. So I want to end the meeting for all, and it's going to notify me when my recording is ready so that I can post it to Moodle. So I'm going to go back to the website, go back to my Zoom page. And because I set up a meeting, I need to look at that meeting and then invite my students to the meeting. So today I have this meeting, and I want to be able to invite my students. So when you scroll down and you see over here where it says copy invitation, I want to click on it. So this is how I'm going to send my invitation to my students. So I'm going to copy all this information. It's been copied to my clipboard, and I'm going to take y'all through Moodle to show you how to invite all your students to your webinar class or your virtual classroom. So you want to log into your Moodle account. Go to your dashboard. Select the class that you're inviting to your presentation. You want to hit this button here on the top left-hand corner, and you want to select participants. I'm going to create an email with this link that I'm going to send to all my students. So I want to select all, and I want to send a message. And in this message, I'm just going to paste what I copied from the Zoom webpage. Tanya Rose is inviting you to a Zoom schedule meeting. This is the topic. This is the time. They can cut and paste this link into their browser and go directly to the meeting. Or if they have a Zoom account, they can enter this ID. or if they just want to get on the be able to hear you and not have the capability of participating besides being verbal, or if they want to get into the Zoom conference call but then be verbal from their phone, then that's the information. I usually delete this for my students, and then they can also dial in by location. I usually delete that and just give my students the link to get in because the rest would be too confused, and I want to keep it super, super basic. So I'm inviting you to a scheduled Zoom meeting. It's going to be on the 25th of March at 6 p.m. This is the link to get in. Press send message, and I'm not going to send it because I don't want these students to be in that meeting. So you want to send the message. They're going to get in their email. All they have to do is click from their email to the meeting, and then they'll meet you in your class. And that is all you have to do to start a virtual meeting with your students. If you have any questions or comments, I will put my information out here for you so you can call. Well, not call me. You can email me if you need me to walk you through some things. So I hope this was helpful for y'all. If you need something else, again, just give me a buzz and I can work with you one-on-one, or I can do another webinar and send it to you. Thanks for joining in.